Hi, Scritchy here, demondemon.com, and it's a question I come across quite often, and I've just seen it again on a forum, and I thought it's about time I gave my answer to this, which is how do you resize images? The standard answer is to use Photoshop, and of course you can use Photoshop. It is quite expensive, and you don't have it, it's not really a particularly good answer. You can use things, that there are things built into most operating systems that let you take images one at a time and resize them quite simply. But say you wanted to resize thousands of images, and now you may want to do this because you want them to appear unique to the search engines. I'm making no judgment on that, I just know that's important to some people. You may want to change the name on them, you may want to change them all from bitmaps to JPEGs or vice versa, or GIFs or PNGs, whatever. You may want them because your website, you want every image to be a standard size on your website. You've got a particular width you want all your images to be, which is the normal blog width, blog page width. Lots of reasons why you may want to do this. Now I've got here a folder called Photos, and it's got several photos of some pottery that my wife bought that all arrived broke. And I'll click on it, and there we are. As you can see, snapped on the base in transit. And I want to reduce these, in this case, just a few images, but you can do this with as many as you like. I say I've done it with many, many thousands in one go, to make them smaller. And I want to keep the aspect ratio in this case. So I'm in this Earthand view. See up here, Earthand view. It's free download. I'll put the link below this in the YouTube video or on demondemon.com. And then once you're in Earthand view, you press B. And then browse to the folder that your target photos are, the ones you've got. In my case, both photos and another one called output, which is a blank folder, are both on my desktop. I just created the folder output just for the purposes of doing this. So then you select all the photos you want to do. You can press Control All, it does the same thing. Control A does the same thing. Then click Add, and it lists them down here. By default, this little radio box button here won't be selected, but you do need to select this here and then click on the Advanced button, which then becomes ungrayed out once you do that. And here we go. Now in this case, because I've done this before in testing, I've decided what I want to do is resize to 400 by 250, but preserve the aspect ratio proportional. So it will very rarely manage to actually get that exactly right. It will prioritize width, but it prioritize height in this case. But it may, if it doesn't divide down exactly, it won't squash the image or elongate the image. It'll go, right, well, if the height's 250, then we're going to have to make a compromise on the width to keep the aspect ratio right, so we're not squashing it or elongating it, stretching it, whatever. If I unclick that, it would squash and it would make whatever alteration, the exact alterations you wanted to the image. So it's up to you which one of those you want to do. So I've decided I'm going to do that. You can crop as well, which will make an image unique. You can say for every image I want you to take off 2 pixels from the top and 2 pixels from the left. Or you can have left and top, right and top, left and bottom, right and bottom. So it depends where you want to start, and you'll work in from sort of, if you imagine like an L shape, which moves around 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees again, and you're cropping pixels off. Again, it will perform the function of making the image unique as far as its characteristics as to the search engines are concerned, and it may be you've got a whole load of images just slightly too big and you want to crop them down for other reasons. Not for me to judge. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them all to that. Click OK. So that's it. I've now said I want to go to my desktop, which is that folder here called Output, and all I need to do now is press Start Patch, and there you go. It's just took a split second. I say I've done tens of thousands of these in a matter of a few minutes. I scraped them all from using Scrapebox image scraper, and I've got tens of thousands of images, and I've resized them all, changed them all from bitmaps to JPEGs, whatever. You can do all of them inside Earthand view. Exit batch, and now this folder here, here's the Photos folder. Here now is the Output folder. And there's image 014 in the photos. If we look at the properties, details, it was 960 by 720. I think it's taken on my iPod. And now image here in the output folder, the properties it'll be something by 250, I hope. Yes, 333 by 250. So there we are, and it did those in a matter of seconds. You can change the name, you can change from one format to another, you can change the color balance, all the different things. I'll just pop this back up here. You can see the whole power of it. You can change the brightness, the contrast, all these other things, saturation. You can create subfolders. You can rotate the image on batch. You can add overlay text on batch, which is very, very powerful. You can put your copyright image, if you want to add copyright to all your images, you can do that on batch, and you can place that wherever you want it. It really is incredibly powerful. And what I don't want is people rushing off to spend $100, $200, whatever, on Photoshop, when Earthbound View is 100% free and has worked for me for years. So hopefully you'll find this useful. It's Scritty at demondemon.com, signing off.